Yeah, I don't use the word awesome. This is pretty awesome. People overuse it. How was your sandwich? Oh, it's awesome. Nah, it's just a sandwich, you know what I mean? Don't overuse the word awesome.
Well, inspiring awe, reverence, or fear is what awesome is. And, you're right. That doesn't apply to a sandwich.
No.
Welcome back, Berzerkers. Today we've got another test drive for you. You remember Jamie? Well, today we've got Joe, Jamie's boyfriend, is going to take his first ride in the Tesla Model 3 ever. All he knows about them is that Jamie has not stopped talking about it since the day she took her test ride. Today's his first ride. Let's check it out. Mount up, Berzerkers. We're going to the battle. All right, guys, we are here with Joe. Joe, last week we had Jamie in the car and she did a test ride.
Yeah.
Now, beyond that, before that day, did you know anything about Tesla cars or EVs?
No, not a whole lot, but that's all she's talked about now.
So what is that all that she's talked about now?
That's all she talked about.
I was ready with a question to follow up, but Joe jumped the gun and he said that's all she's talked about now. So what's Jamie's opinion of it right now?
Oh, she's like, we need one.
Yeah. And your thoughts so far?
Well, you said they have a truck. I'd like to see the truck.
I too. So yes, the truck hasn't been released yet.
Yeah,
I too
right,
would like to see a truck. But yeah, stay tuned for that. We're definitely going to get the Cybertruck on the channel, and we'll make some good videos of that. But for this moment, how about you go for a test drive in this one? Yeah,
sure. I'm
you ready?
ready.
All right, let's do it. So put your foot on the brake, and in this case, mine has I put a passcode on it for driving, because the key, when you first get it, you get a key card, and then you pair that key card to your phone on the Tesla app. And there's a lot of functionality in the Tesla app that we can talk about later. But when I approach the car with my phone, it unlocks it and starts it up, gets it ready to go. But all it took was one time, because this right here is a wireless charger. One time I jumped out the car, ran to the gas station, and realized I left the phone in the car. That's all it took, was that one time I said, you know what, I'm going to put the passcode on there. In case somebody comes to the car, sees it, and it's unlocked, they won't be able to drive it because they won't know the passcode. So if you put your foot on the brake, and then just push this down until it clicks, now you're in drive. So now take your foot off the brake. You see how the car doesn't move?
Yeah.
See this H here?
Mm-hmm.
The car is in hold mode. You don't actually have to hold your foot on the brake. Anytime the car comes to a complete stop, it goes into hold mode. You can take your foot off the brake. It's a tiny thing, but for me, it's relaxing. It
is.
So, at this point, all you have to do is touch the accelerator, start to drive, and the first thing you'll notice is that it's instant acceleration. So just give it a little touch, and let's head on out.
You don't have to wait for anything to fire up or nothing.
Exactly. That is the difference, because the motor is right there on the axle in between the two wheels up front.
Is it like a friction type motor?
So there's I'm not qualified to talk about the technology of the motors. I know that there's a magnetic type motor and then another type motor that's using. I need to educate myself better on it. I can't speak intelligently on which specific type of motor is in this car, but it passes electricity through the motor and immediately starts turning, which is another thing. So it's got a dash cam that's running, and if you honk the horn, it saves the video.
Oh, that's great.
So you've already figured it out. When you let your foot off the accelerator, you feel that
brake.
It's called regenerative braking. What it's doing is it's using the inertia of the car to spin. The motor continues to spin using the inertia of the car, but instead of taking electricity out of the battery, it's putting electricity back in the battery.
Okay.
So
like a negative ion charging type of thing. Osmosis.
Yes, it's the osmosis passing through the semi-permeable membrane.
Right. Even if you come off the gas a little bit.
Yep. If you take your foot off the accelerator,
you don't coast.
You don't coast at all. The great thing about that is that you can actually just progressively let the accelerator out slowly and bring yourself to a completely perfect soft landing.
Once you get your timing down. Wow. And you still have turn signals manual.
Yep, the turn signal is a manual stop, just like you're used to. If you do a soft press of it, just kind of tapping it a little bit, it'll flash 3 times and then stop. And if you do a hard press, basically where you push it up until it clicks, it'll stay on until you turn it off. complete the turn, just like any other car you know of.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Something you're wanting to coast. You know, my truck will coast real good. You know what I mean?
You get used to it really quickly, and the thing I love about it is that it's putting electricity back into the battery and extending the range that you get out of the single charge. Now you hear the silence of it as you're driving. There's no, like you said, there's no engine, there's nothing to spin up. And the difference is it's immediate rotational motion. When it passes electricity through the motor, it just starts spinning and turning the tires, as opposed to a gasoline car where you've got a myriad of things that have to happen in the engine, and then that force has to be changed into rotational force on the drive shaft. But the drive shaft, of course, is spinning the wrong direction. It has to go through the transmission, and change it into the rotational motion of the tires. All of that takes time, and it's lost energy.
Yeah.
It's energy you've lost and never get back. This is a much more efficient way to utilize the energy that you've got stored in the battery.
How many gears does this have?
Just the one.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't go to a transmission type.
Not at all.
No, doesn't shift at all.
No,
Okay.
it's that linear acceleration. It all comes from that one gear, and so you never hear or feel any shifting, and there's never any slowdown. There's never any
Even a thump or nothing
Nope.
from that
Mm-mm.
transmission.
So, yeah, when you come to a complete stop at this stop sign, if you look here, you'll see it. H. So now it's in hold. You don't have to put your foot on anything.
Even on the incline.
Even on an incline, yes. It does have a parking pole. If you put it in park, it's good on an incline. But if you feel like you want a little bit more, you can hold down the parking button for a little while, a few seconds, and it'll put the parking pole in place. One thing I love about this is that they maximize the leg room in here.
Oh, yeah.
There's no engine up front, so they're able to give you all kinds of leg room going that way that you couldn't get otherwise. You'd have a firewall right here.
Right. And then there's also too, some vehicles throw the dash at you. If you ever been in a Chevrolet truck, the dash is like right here.
Yeah.
Fords are way back, but this is like there's nothing here.
I actually hadn't thought about the fact that I know that I love the minimalism of the dashboard.
Yeah, I do
There's
too.
nothing up there, but I hadn't thought about the fact that a lot of cars that I have owned, like you said, throw the
They
dashboard
throw the dash at you and crowd you.
And part of that is because of the fact that they have buttons and switches on the dashboard that you need to have accessible. Here you don't. Everything is controlled by the touchscreen, or by, you can push this button in and use voice commands for just about anything. And Elon is funny because they included regular voice commands, like you can hit it and say, turn the seat heater on. But like yesterday, I had my wife in the car. There's a voice command for turning the seat heater on where you say, there's baby oil on my passenger's chest. And I don't care who you are, that's funny.
It is funny.
That's funny right there.
It is funny. I was getting that, being able to floor it that quick. Is that, wow. That felt like quicker than 4 seconds to me.
Is that? You feel that, huh?
Yeah, I felt that.
And to have that at your disposal, there's a video of there's a semi truck, and no telling what happened with the driver, but the driver either lost his mind or had a medical incident or something. But the semi truck was barreling down the highway and increasing speed, and was just blasting cars off the road. I mean, smashing cars clean off the road. But there was a Tesla that the semi truck could not hit it because it hit the accelerator and shot forward.
That's what I'm getting at. If you see trouble.
You see trouble, you're
like,
gone.
all right, I got to get on around this.
Yep. There's another video, I think was somewhere in Asia, maybe, I can't remember for certain, where a gentleman was kidnapped. He was on the street corner, and 3 guys ran up and, oh yeah, you're getting addicted now.
Yeah.
3 guys ran up, grabbed him, kidnapped him. And a guy was sitting in his Tesla and saw them, and he was just across the street, and he floored it and was able to get up enough speed just crossing the street to hit their car hard enough to disable it and save the guy from being kidnapped.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does it, and I didn't feel it like spinning out.
It's all-wheel drive.
Yeah. So there's no black top marks.
No. So to put it in park, just hit this button right there. So the performance model has a track mode, and in the track mode you can put it in drag strip mode, and you can change power from here to there, and that will let it to burn tires. But I don't see a point in it. Especially
I don't either. I was just saying, you know. How,
yeah, it typically does not because it's all-wheel drive. But the performance model, as has been pointed out to me by my audience, you can set it up in track mode to do that. All right, Joe, you've taken a test drive of it. You've gotten to feel the acceleration. You felt regen braking. You've seen some of the features. What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's incredible.
Incredible?
Incredible. Incredible vehicle.
Nice.
Wouldn't take you long to, like I said, muscle memory.
Yeah. You got used to the regen braking pretty quickly.
Pretty quick.
So now when you have those
Thanks to
conversations
the ducks.
with the ducks.
He said the ducks are playing chicken because they were in the road and wouldn't move.
We had ducks in the roadway. We had fun with them. But yeah, so now you have those conversations with Jamie about her wanting one of these cars. Now you have the experience to draw on when you guys are talking about it.
Well, I'd rather sit in the passenger seat when she wants to go to the beach instead of being cramped in that CRV.
Okay, you'd rather be in one of these, huh?
Yeah, I'd rather be in one of
Fantastic. Joe, man, I appreciate it. Thanks for being here with us, man.
Thank you so much.
You heard the man. He said it's an incredible vehicle, and he'd rather be in one of these than in a CRV. So thank you guys for being here. Hit that like button. Subscribe for more content just like this, and we'll see you guys in the next battle.